Hello, my name is Mary Sandoval, President of the San Bernardino County School Boards Association. I am a school board member with Fontana Unified School District. Welcome to the 2021 Awards Program. This evening from Hesperia Unified, we have the pleasure of listening to a selection called Seasons of Love, performed by the Sultana High School Barbershop Quartet, the Quartettes, a female group. With the COVID pandemic, students have had a limited opportunity to perform. We are excited to recognize their talents this evening. After the short performance, we will start the opening ceremonies for tonight's program. Let's begin tonight's awards program. To do so, we have the students from Yermo School in Silver Valley Unified to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance. They are followed by Hesperia Unified's presentation of colors by Oak Hills High School, Army Junior ROTC Color Guard, and students from Hesperia High School singing the national anthem.
Welcome to Yermo School, home of the Eagles, where students are
safe, outstanding, accountable, respectful.
Everyone stand up, right hand up on your palm. Ready, begin.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Art time. Art. Color guard. Up. Left. Face. Reading stand. Colors.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose sunshines and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free, and the home of the brave, home of the
Didn't the students do a great job? Now Redlands Unified School Board member James O'Neill will share some words of inspiration.
No one can argue that our culture is obsessed with measuring talent and ability, but we often overlook the importance of inspiration. Inspiration awakens us to new possibilities by allowing us to transcend our ordinary experiences and limitations. It propels a person from apathy into the realm of possibility. Inspiration comes from everywhere by way of our senses. We have all been inspired at least once by music, art, words, places, memories, athleticism, or actions. During these unprecedented, challenging times, I believe that it is the selfless and generous actions of people such as our healthcare workers, law enforcement people, business owners, parents, educators, and those we are honoring tonight that elevated the levels of positive effect and task involvement while lowering levels of negative effect. Through countless inspirational human-based actions, we are winning the battle for survival and continuing the pursuit of a life worth living. Tonight, we are taking pause to recognize a few of our local inspirational champions whose noteworthy contributions have significantly impacted and improved our way of life. On behalf of all of us, thank you for your actions and especially for motivating us to give what we can of ourselves to make things better for others.
I want to thank the San Bernardino County Superintendent of School staff for the tremendous work behind the scenes to make this gala event possible. A program document is available that has complete list of summary of our award winners. SBCSBA is an active association supporting a network of school board members in all regions. Watch for our upcoming events in the new school year for school board members, including Boardmanship Brown Act training on September 13th and the Fall Joint Meeting on October 25th. The next two individuals to give us brief reports are Karen Gray, a board member for Silver Valley Unified, who is CSBA Region 16 Director, and Mr. Ted Alejandre, our County Superintendent.
Welcome to the 2021 Spring Awards event. I want to say thank you to every one of the awards winners and congratulate you on the ongoing and quality support to public education. I'm Karen Gray, the Region 16 CSBA Regional Director. It's my honor to represent board members at the state level and with the organization. and I want to say thanks for attending this evening. Please enjoy the show and continue your support to public education. Thank you, and again, congratulations to every one of the winners.
The past 14 months under the COVID-19 pandemic have been like no other for any of us in the education community. After months of bad news followed by worse news, we at last are seeing light at the end of the dark tunnel of this pandemic. Now, more than ever, we see the need to provide students with engaging learning experiences both outside and inside the classroom. The good news is that we are opening more and more schools for students to return to classroom instruction this spring. At the same time, we have expanded our tool bag, and our teachers have learned new ways to engage students in meaningful instruction online. I have seen this with our countywide student events, where with imagination and creativity, the reach to multi-generational audiences has never been greater. To be sure, many students have suffered learning loss. Through state and federal resources, there are now new resources to mitigate those losses. Are we ready to turn the corner? I hope so. If by June 15 the supply is sufficient for all Californians 16 years and older who wish to be vaccinated can do so, and if hospitalization rates are stable and low, then California's economy can fully reopen. Under this plan, schools can fully reopen for the new school year. With safety protocols in place, high schools may even be able to offer modified in-person graduation ceremonies. We have 33 school districts in San Bernardino County, large and small, urban, suburban, and rural. Each one is unique with distinctive communities and circumstances. Countywide, the spirit of collaboration has been terrific. It is a tribute to the outstanding work of our teachers, support staff, administrators, and governance teams. Our work is not done, but we see brighter days ahead.
It is with appreciation and admiration that we honor contributions of individuals and groups to San Bernardino County Public Schools with this year's Education Medal of Honor and Distinguished Service Awards. This year, 23 individuals and organizations were nominated for the 30th Annual Education Medal of Honor. In addition, 6 individuals were nominated for the 24th Annual Distinguished Service Award. All of the nominees and honorees give unselfishly of themselves to enrich the lives of students. They are heroes of public education.
We also recognize the outstanding support we receive annually from county and state elected officials who provide certificates for our award recipients. We are grateful for their recognition of the 2021 award winners. I always enjoy the Spring Awards program celebration of these outstanding individuals and groups for their contributions to our public schools. Before we get started, I would like to recognize our members of the County Board of Education. Ken Larson, County Board President. Laura Mancha, Vice President. And members Hardy Brown II, Rita Fernandez-Loof, and Andrea De Leon. I want to thank them for the support they give to our public schools and acknowledge all of the school district board members for your tremendous support and commitment to public education.
Okay, it's my turn to recognize the great team that I have at Fontana Unified School District. Our President, Marcelino Marcerna, Vice President Adam Perez, and members, Dr. Jennifer Quisada and Joe Armendariz, in addition to myself, and of course, our Superintendent, Randall Bassett, whom I love collaborating with the group that I work with. Now on to tonight's recognitions. All of us know the significance of what our education volunteers and partners bring to students of all ages. Not a day goes by that a student's life is not directly impacted in a positive way by the selfless contributions of an individual, service group, retiree, or a business partner who recognizes the value of giving back to our youth and our public schools.
You will see and hear stories tonight about people who give selflessly of their time and resources. Some have given a lifetime of service to the profession of education. Others recognize that a commitment and an investment in our youth is an investment in our communities. All of our award recipients tonight care about students, and I want to thank you. With that, we are now ready to begin our awards presentation.
Our first award winner in the category of Volunteer in Action Community Volunteer is Sourin Vanhnarath, who partnered with Home Depot in support of Valley Elementary School in Yucaipa-Calimesa Joint Unified School District. He was nominated by Valley Elementary School Principal Kathleen Miller. Yucaipa-Calimesa Joint Unified is led by Superintendent Kelly Binks and a supportive Board of Education. Mike Snellings, Board President, Patricia Ingram, Clerk, and members Sharon Bannister, Kathy Bocote, and Debbie Miller. Let's hear his story.
As an assistant manager for the Home Depot, Sourin Vanhnarath knows how doers get more done. He helped Valley Elementary School in the Yucaipa-Calimesa Joint Unified School District transform a patch of dirt into a community treasure. While dropping off his child at school, Vanhnarath noticed faculty members working on a portion of the district's landscape and asked Principal Kathleen Miller about plans for the area. She said that it was to be a shared community garden to provide students with hands-on experience on the science and benefit of cultivating plants. The problem was that with little to no funding, the project was dependent on voluntary donations from the community. The conversation planted a seed that grew into a partnership courtesy of a community impact grant program through the Home Depot Foundation. The program offers grant awards to nonprofit organizations to complete landscaping or construction projects. With guidance from Vanhnarath, Principal Miller was able to secure over $30,000 in grants from the Home Depot Foundation. Since then, Vanhnarath has devoted countless hours and expertise to Valley Elementary staff, students, and parent volunteers as they have collectively worked to create a beautiful space for students and the community. Sourin's eagerness and the steadfast dedication to help his community makes him this year's recipient of the Education Medal of Honor, Volunteer in Action Community Volunteer.
Well, I'm the community captain for our store. There's one in each store, in each Home Depot. I was voluntold to take on the task, I want to say about 10 years ago, because I used to be in the Beaumont store too as well. Really didn't know much of what I was getting into during those early years of being a Team Depot captain, but I've learned and grown in the position, and I think a lot of my success has to do with the networking and kind of reaching out, and they come to me basically reaching out for tiny grants or just a few pots or plants for little projects, and that's where I expand. Hey, look, I could do more for you. Just let me go, take a look at what's needed at the school, and then it turns into a project and a partnership. What happened at Valley Elementary was Kathy's not even first year yet. I think she was starting that. It was the summertime, and she was starting that fall, and she had some work done. It was a long strip of land where the drive-through is just full of dirt and weeds and stuff. And I was either driving or walking my kids, and I asked her, what do you plan to do with this area? She said, I don't know. She didn't know I worked for Home Depot or what I did. Well, I could help you. And that's how it all starts usually, is it's the little projects, and she didn't know what she was getting into, right? then we just started working together. I came with the plans, and I could see it in her, like, you're not gonna get this done, man. And so I got this, man. I have 10 other stores that I could get volunteers from, and I made her a believer, basically. It was that first project that where I made her a believer, and I saw the difference just from that one project, how she turned that school around, and just really the passion that she exudes, and her work ethic really inspired me to just keep going with that school and look for other projects to do the same, because I saw the difference. So it was a good moment and a good project, a good starter project to kick off everything to turn that school around. So that's the main goal of doing these projects, whether it's just small things or really things that really is visible for people just driving by, that see that there's a change happening at the school or any projects that I'm doing. It really does something to the community and makes them want to get involved. I want to thank the Team Depot Foundation for giving me the opportunity to get out in the community and be a part of great things in the community. And also I want to thank Mrs. Miller for nominating me for this award, and all the volunteers, the kids, the parents, the teachers, my associates from the region and the 9 stores, 10 stores around the regions. I want to thank you guys for making all the projects happen, and really taking time out from your family to help out with all the projects and making that successful. Don't want to leave out my co-managers out in the store to let me go out and do my thing, and while they're running the business, I'm out there, taking care of the community. So I want to thank everybody for that. And lastly, I want to thank my family for letting Daddy go off early in the morning and come back at night on my day off to do these projects.
Our next award winner in the category of Volunteer in Action Service Group is Dr. Ronald Heredia, Executive Director and Board Chair of the Inland Empire Future Leaders Program. He was nominated by Dr. Tom M. Rivera, retired educator, Cal State University, San Bernardino. The district benefiting from Dr. Heredia's leadership was San Bernardino City Unified. Dr. Harold Volkemer, Interim Superintendent. Gwendolyn Dowdy Rogers, Board President. Dr. Scott Wyatt, Vice President. And members, Myra Ceballos, Dr. Barbara Flores, Dr. Margaret Hill, Abigail Rosales Medina, and Danny Tillman. Here is his story.
The Inland Empire spans San Bernardino and Riverside counties. As chairman of the board of the Inland Empire Future Leaders Program, Dr. Ronald C. Heredia knows the vast amount of student potential located across the region. As a student in the Colton Joint Unified School District, he was selected to attend the Inland Empire Future Leaders Program annual conference, and thus his passion for leadership, service, and empowerment began. The program provides promising 9th and 10th grade students access to intensive workshops and activities designed to inspire self-confidence, academic success, and critical lifelong leadership skills. With the guiding principles of familia, pride, and leadership, the Inland Empire Future Leaders Program works to empower local youth to strive for great things. Since its inception in 1984, over 4,500 students, the majority from San Bernardino County, have gone through the leadership training program. Post-participation surveys of these students reveal that 99% of the program participants graduate high school and 90% go on to higher education. Inland Empire Future Leaders Program has always been and continues to be a 100% volunteer program. for his passion and commitment to lifting up students in our region through the work of the Inland Empire Future Leaders Program, Dr. Ronald Heredia is recognized as the recipient of the Education Medal of Honor Community Volunteer Service Group.
So the Inland Empire Future Leaders Program is 37 years strong, started way back in 1984. A small group of educators in the Inland Empire got together and they saw a need specifically to address the Latino student population or demographic in the community. The need was to help alleviate the high dropout rate at that time in the 1980s. They put their heads together, did some brainstorms, and created a program for students that is guided by the themes or underpinnings of familia, leadership, and pride. Familia, I'll speak to that. Our program takes about 150 students from the Inland Empire area every summer for a conference. Pre-COVID, we take students to Idlewild Pines. We have a marvelous 6-day overnight conference with 65 to 70 volunteer staff members every year, help to guide our program. And we are grouped into small familias. Leadership is the guide of our program. We are a leadership nonprofit educational program serving the youth in the community. We take students either going into 9th grade or going into 10th grade, and they get that experience filling out applications, brainstorming, goal setting, public speaking, and various other important aspects of leadership. Every student who attends the program will have an opportunity to speak publicly to the entire group of about 200 people. Every day of the 6-day leadership conference, we attempt to instill pride in these young students. Pride in who they are, pride in where they come from. So every day we incorporate cultural programs, which we call cultural expressions. Students will get to engage in and learn about things like poetry, dance, journalism, contemporary issues facing the demographic, and more. And they cheer each other on, they support each other, and they're learning at the same time. We immediately see a change in students, and that is almost enough of evaluation for us to know that this is working. We do our very best to follow the students through their high school education and find out specifically what they're going to do after high school. And I can't tell you how many times we see and hear about our student alumni who are getting amazing scholarships to big programs and going to schools and universities throughout the country. I have a young man in mind, and he went through our program, and I think that at the end of it, the message that I received from the young man is that he was very glad that he did so. Prior to attending our program, he was just about to be jumped into a gang and learned while at the program that he can assert himself, he can use his voice, that he has support, that he made new friends, and that the gang option was not something that he absolutely had to do. He did ask for support, he did ask for resources to help him along with his new goals. That's one of the beautiful things about our program is it touches people from all walks of life, especially kids. It can definitely make or break the path that they're going to go down. I'm honored and delighted to accept this award on behalf of the Inland Empire Future Leaders Program, the Board of Directors of the Inland Empire Future Leader Program, the Associate Board, my wife, our Safety Director, have worked hard, worked tirelessly to make our program thrive. It is the community's support that will guide us and help us to serve the Latino youth in our communities for many years to come.
Our third award winner in the category of Partners in Education, Small Business or Franchise is Tessa Schutz of Cranbox in Victorville. K-12 Pathway Coordinator Jessica Swift nominated Tessa Schutz for this award. Snowline Joint Unified is one of 9 school districts that form the Mountain Desert Career Pathways Joint Powers Authority. The true impact of this partner in education is across the 9-district consortium that focuses on aligning school programs to local industry. The other unified school districts are Apple Valley, Baker Valley, Barstow, Hesperia, Lucerne Valley, Silver Valley, and Trona. Victor Valley Union High also is a member. Congratulations to our award recipients.
Tessa Schutz is tuned in to her community and diligently works to strengthen frequencies between local educators and students through her broadcasting and media production company, Cranbox. Schutz, in partnership with Mountain Desert Career Pathways, assists with building the skills gap between education and business to build a sustainable culture of high-quality, local talent ready to enter the workforce. Throughout the COVID-19 pandemic, she was able to offer work-based learning to high desert students through a virtual internship program. Local students looking to explore a career in broadcasting and media were given the opportunity to participate in a number of media production roles to broaden their skill sets and developed important interpersonal skills. Those students continue to receive support and guidance today from Schutz and her team. By providing growth opportunities to students and cultivating lasting relationships, Schutz is helping transform the high desert's economic landscape and preparing students to be successful with 21st century workforce skills. Tessa's willingness to assist the high desert region economically, educationally, and culturally make her worthy of the Education Medal of Honor in the category of Partners in Education, Small Business, or Franchise.
So I started Cranbox about 8 years ago now. It actually started as a part-time job while I worked another full-time job, and it slowly became this full-time thing that I do now, just through word of mouth and referrals and that sort of thing. So I work a lot at Cranbox. We have a small team, and we work a lot with conferences and events in Orange County, but we also do a lot of local work in San Bernardino County, like in the high desert, specifically with MDEP and City of Victorville and Esquadron, and I believe one of those companies had referred me to Matt Wells. So that's kind of how I got to know him and his team. We started working on a project that was a video about earning college credits while in high school. And so we had the opportunity to go to different high schools and talk to students in their element, in their different creative zones. It was actually really cool to see. We actually worked with the local airport in Victorville and got to show, inside of planes and work and talk with mechanics and interview different people in different career paths. So it's neat working with those type of people and then talking directly to the high school students to get them excited for possibilities. I believe that in film production, video production, what I work in, it's super important to have referrals, to know people. So I think it's really important to try to show students that that's, and on top of school, it's really good to get that feedback, work with different people. You learn from everyone you work with, especially in this field. Well, I personally feel like it's important to give back because when I was younger, I extremely appreciated the adults who would come and help me and show me the ropes and just answer questions, and it was just so much appreciated and so needed that when I see younger high school students or college students now interested in what I do, I'm just like, yes, let me tell you, let me show you. I feel like I'm giving back because it was given to me when I was younger. So I've had the opportunity to do internships with different students, one of which I actually had through my contacts at MDEP connected me with a person who got to be on set with us during a shoot. And so it was a 3-day shoot, and this person was, pretty much a production assistant. So she would do anything from holding up, boards to reflect the light or holding up cue cards, whatever it was. And then every opportunity when there was, a quiet moment, we would talk. She would ask me questions and I'd be able to kind of show the ropes, and that was just really rewarding, really cool. Another internship that I did through MDEP is I was able to kind of run a little marketing campaign with a group of creative students. So we got a group of students together, and I had created a mock company. And the whole goal of that project was to show them kind of what I do on a daily basis and what type of, career they could strive for. Thank you so much for this award. I am beyond honored to receive it. It was really unexpected, but it brings me a lot of joy to know that all the volunteering work I did in the last year has been recognized. Thank you so much to the team at MDEP. I wouldn't have been able to have these opportunities to work with students if it wasn't for them. And it just brings me a lot of joy knowing that I was able to kind of show students a new perspective on things and be able to show them what I've learned throughout my past. And I really hope to continue to do this and really want to, because when I was a student, I appreciated every opportunity that was given to me. And so I want to be that person that can help students today.
Our next award winner is for the category of Partners in Education, Corporation, or Government Agency. Congratulations go out to Stephen Anthony Tyrrell with Mitsubishi Cement Corporation in Lucerne Valley. Mountain Desert Career Pathways Director Matt Wells submitted the nomination. Although a school district was listed for purposes of the nomination, as with our previous winner, the benefits of this corporate program go to the 9 district consortium that make up the Mountain Desert Career Pathways JPA.
In Stephen Tyrrell's eyes, successful career pathways are built on strong foundations. For more than 5 years, he has had an incredible impact upon career pathway alignment at both the K-12 and community college level across the high desert. His position as maintenance manager at Mitsubishi Cement Corporation in Lucerne Valley has allowed him to forge active and lasting connections between K-14 students and industry partners. Aligning students' talents with local industry needs is a driving force behind Tyrrell's expansive collaborative work with the Mountain Desert Economic Partnership. As the chair for the High Desert Manufacturers Council, he regularly brings industries, K-14 education, government, and community partners together to discuss training needs and ways to close the skills gap. Nominator and director of Mountain Desert Career Pathways, Matt Wells says his drive to foster these connections and tighten alignment for the benefit of local students seeking significant career options is clear. By giving local industry a pool of highly qualified and competitive talent, we can help provide our region a viable and thriving economy. His ongoing engagement with community leaders and students has significantly impacted the career development and personal trajectories of many local residents. For his ongoing transformative work, Stephen Tyrrell has earned him an Education Medal of Honor for Partners in Education, Corporation, or Government Agency.
So one of the things that I do is I hire employees, and those employees need to be skilled as well as educated. And by educated, I mean something with a degree. But as far as skilled, I need to have skilled labor, both electrical, mechanical, millwrighting. We weren't really finding that in a recruiting type of an environment. And we wanted to make sure that we reached out to the local K through 12 so that students knew that there was an opportunity for that and there were jobs available right here where they live. So we reached out to the Mountain Desert Career Pathways, and they said, yeah, we would like to help you out. So we formed what's called the High Desert Manufacturers Council, and we provided some input to the local community as far as education. That was the K through 12, the community college, and we also reached out to local manufacturers who were struggling with the same needs that we were. So we do a lot of things with students. One of the things we do is we provide some feedback. With the COVID, obviously we've done some things with NEPRIS. So we do more Zoom readings and we answer questions for students, like what kind of jobs are there? What is the job like? Do I need to have a college degree for that? What type of certifications are you looking for? And we give them an idea of what the jobs are, what the starting wages are, what we ask for as far as certifications. Well, that led to the Mountain Desert Career Pathway saying, what do we need to do for a certification that you as an employer and other employers in the region would be willing to accept? And we came up with a program that they then since adopted, And the students can get certifications that we as employers can say, okay, well, we know where that benchmark is, that line, and we can build upon that. You know, a lot of times, most of our jobs start off as an entry-level position. And then as we get them to have some of the essential skills that we look for, some people refer to them as soft skills, but essential skills, communication, collaboration, integrity. What are the things that we can do to ensure that that person that we're going to spend a lot of money on training will continue to be a good employee? The feedback we got from students is, you know, that's pretty important. Thanks for that, you know, little bit of lesson. We also provide interviews to students, give them some ideas to what the questions are, so they're not quite so nervous when they get into that point where they're having to answer questions one-on-one with somebody, especially a future employer. Well, we've got a great core group of manufacturers, and we've got a good development of that program that we would like to see continue to build. Obviously, in the high desert, we have economic opportunities, there's available land, and we're seeing some of that logistics and avionics, as well as the mining sector that's already in the high desert, continue to flourish. Mitsubishi Cement Corporation is very, very generous in the amount of time that they allow me to support this local endeavor, and that endeavor is bringing up future employees. Without their support, their willingness to provide me with the time to go and see these school districts, go and see the county government individuals. It's a collaborative effort, not just with myself, but the corporation that I work for, the educators that collaborate with me, and the other manufacturers in the area, as well as our county government who gets the funds that we need for this education to take place. So they are very valuable as a partner, and I really thank Mitsubishi Cement for the time. I'd like to say thank you very much for the honor of receiving this award. It really is a team effort, specifically up in the high desert. We have the High Desert Manufacturers Council with the executive team. Thank you very much for all the support that you do, providing input both to the K through 12 as well as the community college district. Also like to thank the Mountain Desert Career Pathways for providing the guidance for all the school districts that are really a team in the high desert. Without that team, without that effort, without the collaboration, this award wouldn't be possible for myself. So to everyone in the high desert, thank you very much.
Our award winner in the category of Excellence in Education Professional is Trey Painter, a middle school math teacher with San Bernardino City Unified School District. He was nominated by Program Specialist Morgan Palatera. We've already introduced the governance team for San Bernardino City Unified, so let's learn more about our award recipient.
As a math teacher at Curtis Middle School in the San Bernardino City Unified School District, Trey Painter's strong desire to improve student learning thoroughly embodies the motto of his district: make hope happen. Many of his colleagues agree that Trey cultivates a positive classroom environment that is engaging and inviting to all. His dedication to supporting his fellow teachers is a crucial part of his educational philosophy. Not only does he serve as a mathematics department chair, teacher induction program mentor, and demonstration teacher, he also participates in the Noyce Fellowship Project, a partnership with California State University, San Bernardino. The Fellowship Project is designed for math and science undergraduate students to ensure that they are prepared for the classroom environment. With the technical knowledge and expertise to use data as a tool to improve instructional delivery, Painter is able to foster equitable outcomes not only for his middle school students, but students at different levels across the county. He is a truly innovative, empathetic, and passionate educational leader for all. For these reasons, Trey Painter has earned recognition as the Education Medal of Honor, Excellence in Education Professional.
So I wanted to be the teacher where I could reach out to all students, 100% of students. I wanted everybody to pass and be successful. And I did this by just engaging students and just making math relevant to real life. And when you make math relevant to real life and the things that the students like, they tend to do a lot better. So in the classroom, to engage students, I would walk around and acknowledge everything that they're doing. So use of PBIS. What that means is walking around the classroom and pointing out, hey, great job, thank you for writing down the notes. Perfect, I see that you're on step 2 on this particular math problem. Then students that need help, I would make it more one-on-one in a private setting where like going next to the student, hey, I noticed you look like you're stuck on number 3. Is there anything you could use help on? So with virtual learning, because of the totally different concept, I felt like maybe I took a couple steps back from a classroom, but I quickly, made some changes to adapt to the new environment. And again, it was all for the students and for them to be engaged and just for them to feel belonging in the classroom so they would respond and comprehend at their best abilities. One way that I used to engage with students was a lot of online activities. So this was like blow up the chat. So this was a question I would just quickly pose, and the students would rapidly respond in the chat. And it was always a fun competition for the students because what they would do is try to be first to respond. My favorite, Nearpod Time to Climb. So in Nearpod Time to Climb, students would again compete against each other with the lesson and the content we were just learning. So it required them to pay attention in class because what they would do is they would want to win the competition. They're like, okay, I got to focus on this because I want to beat my friend. So something that I wish people would know is my first and second years of teaching were very difficult. I struggled as a teacher. I wasn't the best teacher. And I struggled knowing that I wasn't giving it all for students that were so deserving to have the best education they could. So coming to San Bernardino City Unified School District, my intent was to have impact and have a difference in student learning. And during my first and second years of teaching, I struggled so much that I wanted to write a letter of resignation and walk off the job. Didn't do it. I backed out of it, and I wanted to give it one more try. And the reason I wanted to give it one more try is because there's something special about teaching students. And I put so much time and effort into going to school. And at that time, I still have a master's degree in education as well as my teaching credential. So I'm like, you know what, I'm gonna give it one more try. My third year, I made some adjustments. And again, the reason to improve as a teacher is so important because your happiness is very inspirational to the students' happiness because they can feel that energy. So my third year of teaching, I became a mentor teacher, helping other teachers out so they wouldn't have the same struggles I had. And since the third year, all the way up to my 11 years of teaching, I've inspired 7 student teachers to become teachers themselves, and every single one of them has gotten a job. And to this day, I still support many of those student teachers for questions and concerns they have in the classroom. I'm absolutely honored to receive the Education Professional Award, and I want to acknowledge a few people in receiving this award. First, I want to acknowledge the amazing students that are in my classroom every day, doing what they're supposed to do as far as learning and doing better for their future. I want to also thank Mr. Kevin Orozco. He's my student teacher. He has been there since the first day of school during this pandemic. I want to thank our vice principal, Ms. Carrie Bernstein. She is absolutely amazing at supporting our students and receiving Chromebooks and hotspots, as well as handling our parent concerns that come through the office. I want to also thank Dr. Greer, our school principal. Dr. Greer has been inspirational in our equity trainings. I want to thank our employment development team, Ms. Morgan Pelletera, who nominated me for this award and is just our fabulous demonstration teacher lead, and Ms. Kristen Martin for being my support and my coach. I want to thank everybody one more time for receiving this award. Without everybody, including students and staff, this award would have not been possible.
Our final Education Medal of Honor Award winner is Tiffany Hampton. She is a 1999 Bloomington High School graduate who now is the principal of Slover Mountain High School. She is being recognized in the category of Excellence in Education Student Alumni. Tiffany Hampton was nominated by Colton Joint Unified School District Superintendent Dr. Frank Miranda. Members of the Colton School Board are Dan Flores, President, Bertha Aragon, Vice President, and members Joanne Thorin Ojeda, Israel Fuentes, Pat Haro, Frank Ibarra, and Bernice Sandoval.
Tiffany Hampton believes in the success of all students and consistently lets them know she cares as principal of Slover Mountain High School in the Colton Joint Unified School District, the district she graduated from nearly 20 years ago. In her role as principal, she promotes success with expectation for student achievement and attendance. Hampton has adeptly used technology to continue as many normal activities as possible to keep her students engaged. Inclusivity is a focus of her leadership compass when it comes to campus and district initiatives to champion equity for all students. Currently, she leads the African American Parent Advisory Committee, Black Community Coalition, and has organized numerous activities and events that promote diversity. Tiffany Hampton was recently honored as the Association of California School Administrators, Region 12, Continuation Educational Options Administrator of the Year. She truly cares about engaging students and families because it shows in everything she does, said Colton Superintendent Dr. Frank Miranda in his nomination. I truly believe she is an exceptional role model. Dedicated to ensuring equitable learning opportunities for her students and fostering a positive campus and district culture are just some of the many reasons Tiffany Hampton is recognized as the Education Medal of Honor, Excellence in Education Student Alumni.
So I started my educational journey at Heredia Vista Elementary School in the 5th grade. And then I progressed on to Ruth Harris Middle School, where I was the first real graduating class that had 7th and 8th grade there. And then after that, I went to Bloomington High School, and I graduated in 1999 from Bloomington. But I think all the way from elementary to high school, I was able to get a lot of experience in leadership. So I was on the basketball team, I was on the softball team, I was in Key Club, I was in Renaissance, I was in ASB, I was in just Avid, I was in everything. And so it gave me the opportunity to get a lot of leadership skills. And so circling back, I think all of that just kind of helped me to get to where I am today. So my parents really emphasized education. I know from starting very little, I wanted to be a pediatrician. And so it started off with the Fisher-Price doctor sets. And they were talking about college very early on. I'm actually the first graduate in my immediate family. And so it was actually just really emphasized really early on, and so that never stopped. My mom, I remember not being able to be an Avid, but my mom advocated for me and said she has to be, she needs to be. And then that gave me more exposure to different colleges and a different kind of education that I would get outside of, high school. I advocate for my students because they are usually the forgotten ones or the ones that people think couldn't succeed. So we're talking alternative education and we're talking continuation education. And those are the students that I think I have my passion for. So they usually don't believe in themselves. So we often have to let them know that we believe in them so that they also can believe in themselves. Everybody that's in continuation education are not bad students. They're not all behavioral problems. People have different circumstances just as we do. And these students are no different. So we have a responsibility to pour ourselves into these kids because we don't know where they're going to be. I had people that poured their lives into me, that told me stories, that believed in me, and they're able to see the fruits now. Because I go to my high school and I go talk and I do career day. You have no clue where your students will be one day, so you want to make sure that you make the best of the time that you have with them and create those relationships, those long-lasting relationships. Even on the flip side for students, they need to also make sure that they do not burn bridges and that they continue those same relationships because they never know who's going to help them later on. I think I can quote it best from one of my parents who said, Slover is a healing place for students. And so they come, they may be broken, they may not be broken, but when they leave us, they're feeling more empowered. They're feeling as if they can go out and they can achieve just about anything they would like to because they actually do graduate from high school. So I think first I would like to thank my parents. Even though they're not here, they still hold dear thoughts in my mind, and everything they've told me has always resonated with me at the right time when it was supposed to. I'd like to thank my sisters, all the rest of my family. I have a lot of teachers who have been there. I have counselors who have been there. So specifically Miss Padilla, Miss Lawrence, Mr. Kravanik, all of those teachers who are there for me, I truly appreciate you. Mr. Almendares, who gave me a shot. Miss Amanda Corridon, who gave me a shot and who was my mentor and still is my mentor. And then all of those that are along with me right now, I truly appreciate it. So that would be Dr. Miranda, Dr. Peterson, Dr. Mooney, and I sure don't want to forget anyone else. So charge it to my head and not my heart. But I thank you so very much for everything that you have done for me. I'm happy to work alongside you in this journey that we call education. Thank you so much.
Now for the Distinguished Service Award portion of the program. Our video presentations give us a brief glance at a lifetime of service to public education and announces the first of two 2021 award recipients.
The San Bernardino County School Boards Association and the San Bernardino County Committee on School District Organization created the Distinguished Service Awards program in 1998 to honor education leaders with exceptional years of service. Together with the County Superintendent of Schools and 5th District PTA, the award recognizes significant leadership and outstanding contributions to public education in San Bernardino County. Our recipients have been willing to take risks to improve educational opportunities for students. They have had broad community involvement. They have been willing to speak out on issues impacting children. And they enjoy the respect of peers. The 2021 Distinguished Service Award recipients are Edgar Montes and Dr. Chuck Christie. Advocating on behalf of children comes naturally to Edgar Montes, Vice President of the Rialto Unified School District Board of Education. He tirelessly seeks to transform education through parent advocacy and community engagement. Montes is a lifelong Inland Empire small business owner and philanthropist. He was first elected to the Rialto Unified School Board of Education in 2010. Montes supports parental advocacy efforts and was instrumental in developing the annual Parent Summit, which is now in its 12th year, which focuses on equity and access for all students. He also has led efforts to develop the Parent Institute, a centralized hub that provides resources, classes, strategies, and information to empower parents and caregivers in Rialto Unified to effectively supplement instruction at home. His advocacy also includes his proposal to improve outcomes for students with special needs through the Mindful Movement Sensory Center. This special place includes sensory activities and playstations that highlight inclusion opportunities for all students. Montes has strong ties to his indigenous roots and shares cultural and traditional practices through dance. He established the Danza Azteca program to instill a sense of identity, belonging, and pride for students from different ethnicities and backgrounds. He volunteers and financially supports cultural activities that enrich the community through authentic Aztec customs. The program is driven by its inclusivity and strong community values, said Saida Joffrey, Communication Media Services Director, in her nomination of Montes. Mr. Montes is compassionate, selfless, and magnanimous. He has vastly improved the educational landscape at Rialto Unified during his tenure on the Board of Education and sincerely embodies a community-driven spirit through his generosity and advocacy on behalf of students and families. Galvanizing educators and community members to expand educational opportunities for both students and parents is why Edgar Montes is recognized as this year's 2021 Distinguished Service Award recipient.
He's been in office for about 11 years, but I've learned that prior to being elected, he was very active in the community, always looking to effect change that would benefit those whose voices were not always heard.
For whatever reason, even at an early age, I just felt that I just felt a need to stand up to whatever it is that I felt wasn't right, you know. I didn't realize it at first, but I was always the kind of kid that stood up to a bully or stood up for others. And when I was in high school, even when I was in middle school, I advocated for my peers. Funny thing, in high school, me and a group of friends led a walkout to protest some of the things that, some of the conditions that we were going through as students back in the 90s. And all of that plays into my passion to this day as far as trying to find ways to better the conditions for our schools, for our students, for our parents, and advocate for student rights.
He is the quintessential advocate for parent engagement and participation, especially for parents who have kids with special needs. He does have a very special place in his heart for them.
What I love most about public education is the potential to help others do something good. And I've seen how influential educators can be, not just teachers, but anybody who has the opportunity to have that communication or contact with a student that has the ability to become a role model, a positive role model, that has the ability to encourage them or inspire them to do something good in life, whether it be for themselves, their careers, or whether it be in service for others, like everybody that's in public education.
Everything for Mr. Montes starts with kindness, respect, and/or dignity. He firmly believes that our students deserve our very best all day, every day, regardless of gender, ethnic group, language, or learning ability. That is a powerful and amazing expectation to have as a leader in education.
At all levels, I've seen people in education go through some really difficult times, go through some really stressful times, and I think that it's important to just think about what's the number one reason why we do what we do. You know, to think about what are some of the blessings that come from being in public service, like education. I just am really proud of my school district and all of the people that have been engaged over the years.
He's championed ethnic studies, he's championed social and emotional learning, and he has been a key driver behind the fundamental changes our district has undergone over the past few years. This includes efforts for full inclusion, the creation of movement centers, and the return of students from county programs to their neighborhood schools.
Sometimes looking from the outside, looking in, it's more complex than just just parents and students. No, in order to make the dream work, it's really about everybody. I just would like to take the opportunity to thank the San Bernardino County School Board Association for this prestigious award. It's a huge honor for me to receive this. I'm very humbled and very grateful. Thank you again, and I'd like to thank my school district who nominated me for this award. I generally shy away from recognition and accolades, but I do want to thank you again for this nomination, and I appreciate everything that you guys do day in and day out for the children of Rialto School District and our communities. I want to thank my mom, my dad, my grandmas, my grandpas, my aunts, my uncles, everybody who's one way or another, my mentors, helped me along the way or yanked my ear every now and then. Thank you, and I want to thank the parents of the Rialto School District. I want to thank the students and my kids. Very, very honored, very grateful for this, and thank you, friends and family. Thank you.
My congratulations goes out to my friend Edgar Montes. I've known Edgar since his Fontana days. He was elected to the Rialto School Board 2 years before my election to Fontana Board. He is well deserving of this honor. He was nominated by Rialto Unified School District. Dr. Cuauhtémoc Avila is the district superintendent. The members of the Board of Education are Joe Martinez, President, Edgar Montes, Vice President, and members Stephanie Lewis, Dina Walker, and Nancy O'Kelly. Congratulations, Edgar. In the years this award is given, up to 2 individuals can be named for the Distinguished Service Award. Our second recipient is known far and wide for his service to public education at multiple levels. Let's learn more about Dr. Chuck Christie. Congratulations, Chuck.
With over 50 years of extraordinary service to public education, Dr. Chuck Christie has devoted much of his career to helping students and the community around him. Dr. Christie began his career at California State University, San Bernardino, as a professor of public administration, where he would go on to develop the public administration program during his 36-year tenure. County Superintendent Ted Alejandre says he was absolutely dedicated to supporting all of the communities in our county and going above and beyond to give his time, effort, and valuable expertise to supporting the goals we have in our large county. During his tenure at the university, he began a vocation of elected public service by serving 4 years on the San Bernardino City Unified School District Board of Education, then receiving an appointment as a planning commissioner from the city of San Bernardino. Years later, after relocating to the Yucaipa area, he would go on to be elected to the Yucaipa-Calimesa Joint Unified School District Board of Education. In his role as a school board member for both districts, Christie served 22 years on the San Bernardino County Committee on School District Organization. He held leadership positions on the committee for 10 years, where he was instrumental in guiding the committee through territory transfers, redistricting efforts, and implementing the California Voting Rights Act, which changed election methods from at-large to trustee areas. Yucaipa-Calimesa School Board President Mike Snelling says, "My personal experience with Dr. Christie painted him as a man with high integrity, unwavering character, and a true dedication to students and the education community." During his 12 years on the Yucaipa-Calimesa School Board, he created and led initiatives such as implementing the International Baccalaureate program in the district. He also was instrumental in creating the Family Learning Center to support parents and families, as well as the linked learning academies to enhance learning using technology. Christie's impact on public education has been immense and far-reaching, and generations of students will carry his legacy of service into the future. For a lifetime of dedicated service to public education in San Bernardino County, Dr. Chuck Christie is a recipient of the 2021 Distinguished Service Award.
Dr. Christie is amazing, and I cannot probably find enough adjectives to describe how wonderful he is, but I will tell you first and foremost, he's a consummate professional. He always brings 100% every day.
As I look back at the 50 years that I have, relatively unconventional in many ways, as opposed to traditional K-12 public service, public education. So the first experience that I had with San Bernardino City was like a two-time full-time job. I was a full-time professor. San Bernardino City was one of the largest, I think, at that time. When I applied for the position in Yucaipa, I was fully retired at that stage and had hoped to be able to be a positive influence on it. One of the interesting things about serving for 12 years is you get an opportunity to see people such as at first grade, and as you visit the different schools, and over the years you see them move on, you see the growth, the maturation, the development, and you're at their graduation from high school. That's a unique and very rewarding experience.
Dr. Christie has many, many fans out there, and some of them are his fans from his college classes. Some of them are students that were in our school district and in San Bernardino City as well. Some of them are just in his neighborhood because he's had an impact on everyone he comes into contact with.
The type of leadership style in a school district where you have so many different people, positions, departments, obviously requires a participative management style. In Public Education Day, we talk about it as collaboration, and certainly did my best to provide a positive model.
He's served on the Colton Redlands Yucaipa Regional Occupation Program Board for several years, so he's not only impacted students for Yucaipa-Calimesa, but also Redlands and Colton as they've honored students. He has a wide reach, but he's an equity fighter. That's what I'll say about Dr. Christie, whether it be in the schools of Yucaipa-Calimesa or beyond. He always made sure that we were equitably representing our students and that we were giving them the opportunities afforded to all students.
I served for a total of 22 years on the county committee, the San Bernardino County Committee for School District Organization. The county committee basically is responsible for the county to look at areas of property transfer between districts. If there are disputes, sometimes there may be an interest in an unincorporated area to basically organize and become a unified school district or to dissolve. And importantly, over the last few years, there has been a great deal of emphasis to ensure greater participation by various ethnic groups, minority groups, to have better access to the governance of the districts that they live in.
Dr. Christie is all heart with all of those brains behind the power, and it just makes him such a well-rounded individual.
It's a pleasure and honor to receive this award. It's been a privilege for me to serve these many years in the many different capacities. I would like to dedicate this certainly to my family, my wife and daughter, which is a real inspiration, along with wanting to give back to the community and helping our students to be able to achieve, again, the fullest promise that they have and have the opportunity for a quality life and the choices that go with it to fully develop themselves. I have met so many people along the way with all of the organizations that I've had a chance to work with, from my superintendents, Neil Roberts in San Bernardino City, to Callie Banks with Yucaipa-Calimesa Joint Unified District, with my many board members, with the parents, countless teachers and people within the district. I humbly accept, but one can't accept this without acknowledging the people in public education at all levels who do so much, unsung, unrecognized, but with countless contributions to so many.
Congratulations, Dr. Chuck Christie. We already acknowledged the Yucaipa-Calimesa governance team in an earlier award category, so I'd like to add a few personal comments. I first had the opportunity to meet Dr. Christie when I was working on my BA degree from Cal State University San Bernardino in the area of public administration over 30 years ago. I was so fortunate to have an incredible professor in Dr. Christie, who provided all of his students with detailed and focused instruction. He demonstrated true care and concern for his students to ensure they were successful in completing their education as well as furthering their own professional careers. Obviously, Chuck practiced what he taught because he has had a career of distinguished service inside and outside the university classroom.
This concludes our Education Medal of Honor and Distinguished Service Awards program. I want to thank my co-host, County Superintendent Ted Alejandre, for his help in recognizing these outstanding individuals and organizations. It has been our pleasure to congratulate all of the winners and to thank you for the wonderful work you do. The county schools host permanent displays for the Education Medal of Honor and Distinguished Service Awards at the Royce Hill Education Center in San Bernardino that includes photos of the honorees. We hope you have enjoyed this evening. Please take a few minutes to complete our meeting evaluation in the description below. It is very helpful to us in planning future events. Thank you and good night.